Hey everybody, and I posted this project on Reddit a while ago, and a lot of people asked me to make a how-to video. So I went out and I got more pieces to build another one of our sort of steampunkish industrial style lamp using some black pipe, some wire, and some Edison lamps that I just got at the store. Now the cool thing is all this stuff I got at Menards, and it's all within like 2 aisles of each other. So the fact that the folks that I saw were charging close to $800 for this, I thought was a little bit ridiculous. So I decided to piece it together. Really super simple at the end of the day, and here's how I did it, okay? So you're gonna need some black pipe, you're gonna need some wire, and you're gonna need a couple of these cages, and you're also gonna need some Edison lamps. Whatever one suits your fancy. This is the expensive part. Probably about 10 bucks for 2 of these. You will need 2 of these universal light bulb holders, and I just painted mine black to match. Okay. You're going to need 9 of these elbows, and I have one that's a special elbow with a hole in the bottom of it, and that's going to be for our wire. You're going to have 2 of these adapters. Now I'm using 3/4, if you can see this, hopefully it'll focus, 3/4 black pipe, and that's going to be kind of most economical and be the coolest version with the kind of the best aesthetic look to it, okay? You're also going to need 2 of these cages like I pointed out, but you're also going to need a wire. Now I picked one that has a switch on it just so that I can turn it on and off. Now the electrical sockets do have a switch that turn on and off, so that is you can turn them on and off this way, but I pulled the little plugs out of them so that they'll be hidden. I'm going to put them behind. You'll see it when it's all done. So probably the first place I always start is I start with the wiring. And the wiring really comes in 2 pieces, okay? So now I chose this one that has the black braided cord on it just because I thought it looked nice. Now you can go cheaper and you don't have to do that. And this is grounded, so there is a grounded piece of metal there. And then what I did was I split it using some just regular electrical wire, and then put one positive and then one to the negative, and then cinched it all together, soldered it, and then put some electrical tape over the top of it so that they don't bind each other. This stuff, this heat shrink tube, works really well, especially this stuff. Just get it real hot and it'll melt, and that'll keep everything from rubbing together. So again, you can save a few bucks if you just want to use the switch on this guy to turn the lights on, but in this case I decided I liked the slightly nicer black braided one with the switch in the front and the back, and it works out quite well. So you will need, like I said, 2 of these wires, and 1 of these will go to each of our bulbs on each side. And then from here, really all it is just a matter of putting it all together. One of the questions that I did get a lot was, how do you attach the light socket to a piece of black pipe? Well, very simply, see if I can show you if the camera will focus. So what I did was I took this 3/4 adapter. This is a reducer, so it's a 3/4. Come on, focus, focus, focus on the middle of the screen there, big guy. Come on, you can do it. You can focus. Holy oh crap! Come on. Anytime now. Anytime now. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to cooperate. So here's what I did. Hopefully you can see down in the center of this as soon as it wants to focus. Come on. Come on. Focus. You can do it. There we go. Hopefully you can see down inside there, but what I've done is I've taken the top of the bulb. It's a pressure fit side to it right here. Okay? And I've stuck it up through the bottom of this, and I've used a little piece of epoxy in between the pipe and the actual piece here, okay? So not from down here, because you'll see it. You'll be able to see the epoxy from here. Do it from the top, from the inside. Hopefully that's visible. You can see some of that, the epoxy that's in there. And then let that sit for a while. This is brass when it comes. It's this brass color, but then I just painted the outside to look similar to the gray. Just an aesthetic feel. You can do it however you like, of course. A number of pieces here are for aesthetics only, and you can kind of do it however you like, but you're going to need a number of pieces of black pipe. Now, how you assemble this is really kind of up to you. It's a choice. It's a aesthetic thing. Now, if you choose to do it in my way, that's totally cool too. But this is, you're going to have to start counting. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these connectors. A couple of lengths of black pipe, and this will make sense in just a second. I'm going to use a short piece of pipe here. That's one short piece. We have 2 of these medium pieces. I think these are 4 inches, and I believe this is a 3-inch. Looks about right. 2 adapters. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these elbows. These are the kind of pricey ones. All in all, though, speaking of price, this really wasn't too bad. All in all, probably 60 bucks total, and a lot of it was this black braided wire and the 2 light bulbs. The rest of it probably maybe 30 bucks or so. All this stuff you can get in the hardware aisle at Menards or Home Depot or whatever. All this stuff is easily had. These are going to be in the trouble light section. These are actually just cages for trouble lights. So I honestly thought I would have to go into the store, get some wire welded up, but nope, they come exactly like this. That's the cool part. So I'm going to start putting this together, and hopefully this will start making a lot of sense as things start coming together. So here we go, right? So I've got a couple of pieces here, right? And these are already too tight, I can't get them off, but you know, a good pipe wrench at the very end will do you some good to put all these pieces together, okay? So, first things first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these two 4-inch guys, put them together, and I will just shut up so you don't have to listen to me yammer on forever. Just kind of watch what I'm doing. All right, so one piece about this, if you will notice very carefully, if this ever does want to focus, if you look at this, notice there's a taper to it, okay? So this is for people who are not, you know, you don't deal with this stuff every day. You will see it's called National Pipe Thread. And what this is it's slightly graduated. If it ever wants to focus, come on now, you can do it. Focus on the middle of the screen. You'll notice there's a slight graduation here, so it's thicker at the bottom than at the top. It's National Pipe Thread, so basically it's going to get tighter the tighter you do this, so it's going to get harder to work with, and that's the idea. So it seals itself. That's the idea. So the fact that I'm turning this and it's getting harder as we do it, that's completely normal, completely fine. Okay, so once you've got kind of got it like, yeah, kind of, there we go. Kind of getting it settled might be a bit of a challenge because you've got a number of different competing things here. There's going to be somebody yelling at me, that's not how you use a pipe wrench. I know that. I'm aware of this. So calm down. So get this tight. Okay, so that's not wanting to come. Again, a little bit of this is going to be some wrangling of pieces and getting everything straight, so just kind of bear with it. Okay. So one of the things you can do is, as I continue to assemble this, is you can use some leverage, okay, sometimes to get it to where you want it. There we go. get it where you want it to go. Okay, now I'm at the stage. Okay, that's the base. Pretty simple, right? Don't tighten anything or everything up just yet. Find your one with a little hole in it. So if you've got a drill, this is the time to drill a hole appropriate for your cable. Really simple. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this one up. Give it a few turns just so that it's not loose, but tight enough to where it's gonna stay if I leave it. Okay. Now the idea is you don't have to do this super tight if you don't want to, but just keep in mind that you are, you're not gonna, this is a lamp. You're not really gonna jostle it a lot, so you don't need to have it super tight, but tight enough to where it's gonna stay. Okay. So now, here's what we're gonna do. Because we're gonna start threading this, okay? I recommend doing this in one piece. Or one piece at a time, excuse me. Kind of like the old Johnny Cash song. I did it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. Right, that one? Yeah, I know. Singing career's coming along nicely, thanks. Take one piece at a time, and slowly feed your wires through. Okay. Right, and then start rotating, getting it probably hand tight. That's probably where we're gonna go. Okay. Just gonna pull it through. I'm gonna pull it through far enough so that the little black piece here is hidden. Okay. Right up to here, so where it's hidden so you can't see it, and it's going to be out of the way, but still got plenty of length left because we're going to have to build this up a little bit to get its full height. Okay, so I'm going to use another connector piece. Now you could use one piece of long pipe here, but I'm just going to use a connector, and that makes it look a little cool. Again, aesthetics, you can choose to do it however you like, but this is where you want to go slow, one piece at a time, just because these wires can get tangled pretty easily inside there, and it's hard to kind of start fishing them through if they're snagging on the inside. So here's the real height of our piece. Now we're suddenly getting pretty tall. Okay, gonna run this through. Okay. Let's see, get the camera moved up a little bit. Start to see the height of our lamp now. It's pretty tall. Okay. And as you can see, we've got some wiggle room here. Go ahead and tighten this down. You can use this for some leverage. Okay. Tight enough for me, anyway. Okay. Now, one more elbow piece. And you'll start to see it come into fruition. I think this goes without saying, but don't plug this in while you're making this. Don't play with electricity. I've already been zapped a couple times trying to do this, trying to get the wiring correct and testing it and everything. It doesn't feel good, okay? It really doesn't. Okay, again, straight enough for me. I'm gonna do one more connector. These connectors are where it easily gets snagged on the cables, or the wires, so that's why I do the connectors one at a time. Okay. We're going to do one more elbow to start to make the shape of our lamp. Feed it through. Okay. Okay. Again, kind of close enough for the moment. Got one more connector piece. Here we go. Okay. Now, here's where we need to split our wires. And here's what I recommend doing. So go leave this open as is because we've got our little T section here. This is where our split's going to happen. Go ahead and feed it through one side. Okay. Okay, get it close. Feed it through the other side. Okay. Then you can start twisting it up in here. There we go. Because the next two pieces you're going to put on will interfere with this bar. Okay? So that's why we want to do it this way. One more turn on this guy, just to tighten her down. Okay. Now don't worry so much about which one is positive and which one's negative, because the nice thing about electricity and the way it works is that light bulbs don't care which direction the little pixies travel. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to illuminate the filament inside. So don't worry so much about that piece. That's not a concern about positive or negative. Okay, I'm going to put on one more connector. Starting to take shape. Makes a lot of sense now. Okay. Like, yeah. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Also, like, yeah. Okay. Downspout, right? Another 90. Okay. This is starting to turn into its final shape here. Okay. Do it side to the other side. Okay. All right. Final piece. Okay. This is our piece that we made, right? Remember, I epoxied this together from the inside. Okay. This is a 3/4 to 1/2 adapter with my electrical socket on the end. Go ahead and feed this one through. Okay. Go ahead and screw it on. Careful screwing this on. because the epoxy is not super powerful here, because you're only using a very small bit. So only twist from here, don't twist from this guy. Should be self-explanatory, but you get the idea. Okay, same thing with the other side. Okay. Go ahead and twist that on. Now, you'll notice we got a lot of extra length, and our socket's going to be kind of right here. So we want to cut a fair amount of that off, because we're going to have to stuff the rest of it up inside this pipe, and sometimes it doesn't want to go very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of length to work with. Okay, just a little. Split these two wires. Okay. Okay. Discard the excess over here. Now, these was my favorite tools. I've had this tool forever. This is a wire stripper. Lifesaver. I love it. I'm going to cut off maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch or so, to wrap around the socket posts on both sides. Okay. You don't need one of these fancy tools. You know, I've used a knife before. A knife works just fine to get the wire off. Just make sure you don't cut off all the copper wiring while you're doing it. This just makes the job faster and easier, especially if you're doing an entire wiring loom or something to that effect. Okay. Next, I'm just going to wire up the sockets that are already here. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to put the cover on the socket. And you'll see that. Okay, got my screwdriver. Again, don't worry so much about which polarity goes where, because it doesn't really matter. Pixies don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and twist it around the node there and tighten it down. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other thing. I usually make a little J out of the wire, like so. Pull it around to the post if it wants to today. There we go. Okay. Now, notice it's got a little post here. There's a little notch that goes inside it. And that will fit perfectly inside here. Now, this comes as a set, so pretty easy that way. And what I like, I'm going to put this on the facing me inside because this is the front. Okay, this is the front of the lamp. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this around and push it back towards me. And this is pressure fit into this socket. Now again, remember, it's only held in by a small amount of epoxy. So you're going to want to be careful not to push too hard or you might break that epoxy that's in there. So remember when I said push all this junk up in there. So that's where proper planning will help. Okay, this is pressure fit, so again, be careful. Here. Yep, okay, that was it. There's a little click that goes with it, and that's how that works. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now, both sides are put on, and I'm gonna tip the camera down a little bit, and you can see, okay, pretty close. We're almost done. Now, next thing we need to do is to not put in our light bulbs. I'm just taking them out just to kind of get them ready. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our cages on, and the cages are held in just by pressure. So I'm just going to unscrew it. Yeah. Okay. Unscrew here. Okay. I like to have the bolts facing me, facing away, so you don't see them. So I'm going to put it like so. Okay. And then what I like to do, since this is the biggest part of the pipe, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten it down to this part. Okay. These are just pressure fit. There's no magic to it. If you want to take them off or replace them or whatever. So go ahead and tighten those up. Those of you who are wondering, my winter beard is coming in quite nicely, so thanks for asking about it. I appreciate it. Okay, not going to go anywhere. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and we're almost done. Okay, we're done. Straighten those bad boys out a little bit. Go ahead, turn bulbs into place. Here we go. Okay. Now, if your bulbs don't work when you turn it on, that means you did not turn the little switch on the socket itself on. These happen to be three-way switches, just what they had available, and it was cheap. So kind of keep that in mind that you might have to click it more than once or twice. Get to work. I'm gonna plug it in. See how we did. Oh, all right. Success. There she is, all done. You can make yours too, like I said, about 60 plus bucks or so. I do have to do some tweaking in here. Obviously, things are not quite 100% straight all the way around, so you'll have to experiment a little bit with getting everything straight and everything tight, but otherwise, it works pretty well. Got myself a little switch. Yeah? No light. Light. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Thanks everybody on Reddit for supporting me, and good luck. Hope you enjoy making your own.